Hey yo, artists and musicians.
Who, us?
Yeah, do you want your own vinyl records?
Yeah, but I can't order 1,000 of them. Or wait like a year to get them. Yeah, we're going on tour in 2 months.
Check out our friends lathecuts.com. They'll make you vinyl singles in quantities as small as 50 copies and as quickly as 3 or 4 weeks.
Get out of here.
You heard me right. All their pricing is a la carte, and they can help you pick a package that fits your budget.
Okay, who we talk to about this?
You need to email my buddy Mike. His address is lathecuts@yahoo.com. And if you mention low profile, you'll get a 10% overrun on your order.
So if I order 50 records,
Mike's gonna send you 55.
if I order 75, I guess you would get 82 and a half?
Something like that. Remember, you gotta mention low profile to get that deal, and it won't be around forever.
What was the address again?
That's lathecuts@yahoo.com. Custom-made records in small quantities. Mention low profile to get a 10% overrun on your order.
And emailing now.
Hi, I'm Anna Winter. Do you love listening to Low Profile? There are several ways you can support this show. You can sign up for flexible monthly donations at patreon.com/lowprofile. Those donations help Markley keep this show running smoothly and are vital to Low Profile's progress at the cost of a cup of coffee once a month. If you join the Patreon community, you can get advance episode releases, behind-the-scenes exclusives, and early access to merchandise. If you can't contribute financially, it always helps if you tell a friend about your favorite episodes, share about Low Profile on social media, subscribe for free on your favorite podcast platform, and give us a rating and review whenever you listen. Low Profile also receives in-kind support thanks to these independent Olympia businesses: San Francisco Street Bakery, Schwartz's Deli, Rainy Day Records, Old School Pizzeria, and Schurler Easy Premium Shitty American Lager from Three Magnets Brewing Company. And most of all, thanks to you, the listener, for tuning in. Now, let's get to today's show.
Hey, before we get this started, I got a couple quick announcements. First, there's these really good cookies, right? They're like kind of cake-like almost, really thin with like a nice sticky filling in the middle, and they just taste like heaven. They're called Alfajores from Alfajores Olympia, and they're kind of an in-kind sponsor for this episode. They're made by our friend Miles, who is a longtime engineer on this show and helps out with a lot of editing and sometimes co-hosting and things like that. And his wife, Karam, they make these lovely cookies, and there's an Instagram account for that. You can pick them up. They'll probably mail them to you wherever you live too. You know, they're really good. Also, I'm collaborating on a concert series this summer called Schurler Sundays. You've heard of Schurler Easy Premium Shitty American Lager, right? So that beer and Three Magnets Brewing Company are partnering with Low Profile, and we're just putting on this free all-ages concert series. It's happening every Sunday at 3 p.m. from June 12th to August 14th, 2022. It's behind the Carnegie Library in Olympia, a historic building here. And so I'll be interviewing artists, and then they'll be doing performances, and we have opening acts every time. And we'll do an audience Q&A too, so that should be fun. We've got Waves Crashing, the Monoreels. We have Doug Marsh, thank you. Michael Hurley, Lavender Country, Jenniferis, Lake, O Rose, Austin Leonard Jones, and Dev Ray. You can find a link to more info about that at schurlerbeer.com, or we'll link to it also on lowprofilepodcast.com. So hope to see you there. It's going to be really fun. If you can make it out to any of them, I'll be glad to see you. All right, here we go. Best wishes. I know that's usually a sign-off, but I'm going to go with it as a starter today. Hope you're doing well. Wish you well. This is Markley, and Low Profile is back from a production break. Round 2 of Season 5 starts now. And today's featured guest is none other than actor, comedian, painter, puppeteer, singer-songwriter. There's got to be... alien expert? David Liebe Hart. David's probably best known for his work on the TV show Tim and Eric Awesome Show Great Job, where he contributed original songs, puppetry, and character acting, and just some really hilarious stuff. But he's been in show business his entire life, with roles on shows like The Golden Girls and Wings, as well as his own long-running TV show, the Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Program, which, that's a mouthful. And more recently, I Love David on Adult Swim. He's also a prolific recording artist who's released dozens of albums, including collaborations with outsider hero Jad Fair and rapper Kool Keith. I spoke with David from his home in Los Angeles, and we kick things off talking about extraterrestrials, a subject that David is very familiar with. And so before the interview, for context, let's hear a live recording of his song Go Into the Light, with a little intro that he does spoken. This is courtesy of Nick Collins, who filmed it. Thanks, Nick.
My name is David Liebe Hart. I first wrote a version of Go Into the Light for Absolutely Production, but I can't do that version because that was for hire. And then I'm an ASCAP songwriter, and I wrote the words and music to the original Go Into the Light till next we meet. And this is the new version composed by Jonah Motion, lyrics by David Liebe Hart.
Sour man, far and Hello, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Oh, is this the interview?
Yeah, this is Markley on Low Profile. So, for the listener who might be just tuning in and not sure what the Corinthian language is, do you think you could elaborate on that?
The Corinthians is an extraterrestrial race who's given us a lot of back engineering. They gave us the computers, the cell phones, fiber active that AT&T uses and Verizon uses, and many of the big and Sprint uses. They've given us the blender, even they gave the kings and queens the toilets and the washing machines. They've given us a lot of back engineering tech. They call it back engineering technology. Bob Renown has been working with the Corinthians ever since 1961. He met them in northern Massachusetts and became friends with them and traveled with them to Star Corridor, which is 411 light years away from Earth. On my Caucasian side, I'm related to the Wright brothers and President Grant. And President Grant worked a lot with extraterrestrials and so that the Wright brothers to making the airplane, and extraterrestrials would give them advice what to do. They would do the same thing for the kings and queens and people that were in high authority.
Man, that's a lot. When did you get hip to this? How did you get hip to this personally?
Well, how I got hip to it was Colonel Wendell Stevenson saw a lot of UFO activity when he was working in the Marines. He also was a friend of my Sunday school teacher, Henry Scales, who was the Tuskegee Flyman. And when he taught Sunday school in the Christian Science Church at 21st Church of Christ Scientists that used to be in Chicago. It's closed now. It was in the south side of Chicago. Mm-hmm. He talked about when we read the book of Ezekiel, and it talked about people being taken up in a chariot. He would say that this is about the UFOs, not about angels. The angels are really extraterrestrials, and the UFOs are really the chariots of fire.
David, you got a great song on that topic. Did Ezekiel see a UFO?
Did Ezekiel see a UFO up here in the sky? You know, it was the wheel within a wheel telling us that UFOs are real. Why does our government tell us they don't exist when they still appear in our experience? They are being revealed in our existence.
Yeah, I wrote the words and music to that song, and I did it on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And there's a lot more about about extraterrestrials. If you could get the lost books of the Bible, the Book of Enoch, mm-hmm. and a lot of the prophets in the Bible were in contact with extraterrestrials. In fact, they gave us organized religion. The Palladians and the Menusians, they gave us Buddhism. Mm-hmm. A lot of the Christians were given organized religions from the Articulars, the Omegans from Star Caladan that the Irish come from. A lot of extraterrestrial races have blended in with us, and it talks about it in the book of Genesis, how the angels took wives from people here on Earth. And they come from Star Caladan, which is 10 light years away from Earth.
Yeah.
Now, that's the only song about extraterrestrials that's on an album called Did Ezekiel See a UFO? The rest are public domain words from hymns that I got from the Christian Science hymnal that I put to my own music.
God of truth, eternal good, lift our heart to revelation, that thou mayest be understood, thou the rock of our salvation.
think the gospel and the spirituals on that album are some of your most compelling and beautiful work. I love your renditions. And
Christian Science is a wonderful religion, and it teaches metaphysical teachings, but it has stagnant, racist people that run the church that don't like African Americans. Actions speak louder than the words. They don't like me. They're jealous of me. We only want the Negro slave songs in the new Christian Science supplement, like Amazing Grace and Lord, I Want to Be a Christian in My Heart. But we don't want to have any new gospel music written by a new contemporary African American. And so they let me know where I stood, and they were very unkind to me. And so I was an organist and a soloist at a Christian Science church in Long Beach for 25 years, but I faced so much racism. They said, oh, you can only come as a visitor, not as a musician anymore. After I served the church for 26 years and I played free for the church for 10 years. So I said, I don't need this politics. That's politics. I love Christian Science. I'm going to study the metaphysics on my own. And I read my lesson every day. I've had class instruction in Christian Science. So I just read my lesson in my books at home. And I just bless and release the stagnant, prejudiced people because they don't know any better.
I wanted to ask you, David, about some of your upbringing.
I was raised in Christian Science. I was from the Midwest. I'm biracial. I'm part German, Norwegian, and African American, Apache, Blackfoot, and Sumac Indians, Scotch, Irish, and French, and a little bit of English, not that much.
Yeah, so you're a man of the world, essentially.
Yeah. And my dad was a school teacher. My dad was a very open-minded person. My dad was a civil rights leader with Dr. Martin Luther King, and he worked with Dick Gregory. He was an activist. He was a wonderful, brilliant man. He reminded me of Bill Cosby. He was always a comical, funny guy. He was a school teacher. He had a landscaping business and maintenance business. Long time ago, he said he worked with the government as an FBI agent a long time ago. One of the first African Americans, and they did the show I Spy, kind of like copying what my dad did.
Oh wow!
And my mother was also a school teacher. My mother got into acting as well.
Where did your keyboarding and songwriting sort of come into play? Was that at a young age?
Well, it came on when I started playing piano. I have Kathy Case, who was a musician at the First Church of Christ Scientists in Park Forest, Illinois. She gave me piano lessons in the Christian Science Sunday School, and then I had Mrs. Volk as a voice and a classical piano teacher, who she was distantly related to Betty White, who just died.
Yeah.
And Miss Waller, she even looked like Betty White.
Betty White went to school and really paid her dues. She was born in Oak Park, Illinois in 1922. Betty White never gave up. She became a winner, not a loser. She started on Tell the Truth, went on to
like a rock and roll kid too?
Oh, yeah.
When you were doing gospel, what was your popular music?
Yes. My first, I'll tell you, the radio station that got me into rock and roll music was WLS in Chicago. They played a mixture of R&B, rock and roll, and country western music. I took music theory and piano from the YMCA in downtown Chicago. And they had a newspaper called the Reader Paper. And I got to audition for Chicago when it used to be called Chicago Transit Authority.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get to pursue that because back then, I am in my 60s, and back then you were not considered an adult until you were 21 in the 70s and the 60s. I passed the audition to work with them, but it didn't work out because of that.
Just a hair too young.
Yeah, but anyway, I was inspired by Stick. I was inspired by Three Dog Night. That some of them are Christian Scientists, and some of the Davy Jones is a Christian scientist that died. That was
From the Monkees? Oh yeah, man, we only have one monkey left, dude.
Yes, he passed on.
You're a Monkees guy?
Yes, I am. I love their shows.
Did you ever get to see them play or anything?
No, I know. I work with one of the Monkees on a show called Bag Boys.
Oh, really? Which one?
The one that has that really goofy face like a monkey. I forgot his name.
Well,
he's still living.
They could all get pretty goofy.
Yeah, look at that guy. He had like a goofy face. He was really.
Is it
funny.
Mickey? I know there's Mickey Dolenz.
He's the one who's still living.
Peter Tork.
I work with him on Bag Boys when Tim and Eric used to hire me for television work. They don't hire me anymore. Oh, there's a very mean. They come and have me to memorize parts, and then they give them to another actor.
Oh God!
They play like they don't like me. They're jealous of me, so I have to move on. I was friends with Vivian Vance at the Christian Science Church. She faced jealousy from Lucille Ball. In fact, she got replaced by Gail Gordon, who played Mr. Mooney, the banker, and Lucille Ball and Mary Jan was another person, because Lucille Ball didn't want anybody to outshine her, and she was only allowed to be on the Lucy show once a year, and sometimes and she had to gain a lot of weight, or Lucille Ball wouldn't have her on the show because she didn't want to be outshined.
Okay.
Lucille Ball was very mean. I met her in person. You did gardening and yard work for Vivian Vance. She was a member of Fifth Church of Christ Scientists.
I like Vivian Vance better than Lucille Ball. You know, Vivian Vance had me to do her last party in 1978. She had me to sit by Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball pulled the chair from me and I fell to the floor. She gave the chair to Gary Coleman instead. Says Gary Coleman's going to be a star, not you. Gary Coleman's got more talent than you. That's what Lucille Ball told me. Vivian Vance says forgive Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was mean to me too.
In Hollywood, that's now a Mosaic church. I got kicked out of the Mosaic church because a girl ran up to me, "Oh, could you help me get on the Tim and Eric Awesome Show? Great, you got a great job." This beautiful redheaded girl, and I said, "Well, I'm not allowed to give their phone number up." So she says, "Can I get your phone number?" I gave her my phone number, and she blackmailed me. She said, "Oh, this Negro came on to me. You got to throw him out of the church." 2 bouncers threw me out of the church there. Tim and Eric are now members of that church, and they're learning to be very Republican and very conservative. They got brainwashed.
Great job.
Well, speaking of Christian Science, I wanted to actually tell the listeners about, and maybe have you elaborate on what your old TV show. It's the Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson
I
Show.
did the junior. Well, I did the Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Show from 1988 to 2008.
And what was that?
Now, I'll tell you what inspired. Well, the Christian Science Church hate the show, and they did everything they could do to blackball and take it off the air because they didn't like a black doing the show.
Thank you.
This is the Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Show where all are accepted and none are rejected. We're so blessed by the Almighty God that we have the talented Michael Tyrone Boyd with us, and we also have the talented Connie Hoffman all the way from Germany with us. Yeah. And she has an affirmation to teach kids to say no to drugs. Connie Hoffman, do you have an affirmation to teach kids to say no to drugs?
Ja, würde ich sagen. Auf jeden Fall würde ich sagen, dass es nicht gut ist, Drogen zu nehmen. Es ist eine Droge, die dich nicht auf jeden Fall einen Gewinner macht. Man kann nur ein Verlierer sein. Von daher gesehen würde ich sagen, sage Nein zu Drogen.
Well, Donka Show. Thank you, Connie. Okay, Teddy, Eddie, do you have an affirmation to teach kids to say no to drugs?
I want all the kids out there to say no. Say no to drugs there. Don't do the drugs there.
Such as cocaine, pot, heroin, all that bad stuff.
It's all bad.
Well, what the Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Show was a Bible lesson, reading Bible stories. I had to put together my own weekly Bible lesson, which was different from the weekly Bible lesson that the Christian Science Church did from the Publishing Society. And it was it only had 4 citations of reading the Bible and science and health and teaching kids to stay in school and say no to drugs. So I was going to, Jim Henson and Bert Stilson were doing a puppet presentation at UCLA.
Right.
And Jim Henson said, and Bert Stilson told me that they wanted me to do a puppet show. They would give me puppets that were not popular to do a puppet show teaching kids Bible stories and say no to drugs.
Yeah.
After Jim Henson died and Bert Stilson died, I did the very first Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Show at First Church of Christ Scientists in Yucaipa, California.
Was that your introduction to puppetry, or did you have a previous interest?
Yeah, well, no, I did puppeteering way back.
Yeah?
I was encouraged to be a puppeteer by a show that used to come on in Chicago called The Magic Door. A Jewish rabbi did a puppet show teaching kids to say the Jewish people call the Bible
The Torah?
The Torah, or they call it the Holy Scripture.
Okay.
And they don't use the New Testament, but they use the book of Maccabees from the lost books of the Bible that the regular Protestants don't use.
Come through the magic door with me. Just say these words and wondrous things we'll see. Follow the king, queen.
What was your first puppet?
Well, I made a puppet called Whaley Daly, which was a whale in the 60s, because I couldn't afford to buy it. And that was my first puppet. And it shooted water from the top. And,
oh, wow.
That was
special effects.
And I made a dragon out of a sock. And I was inspired to be a puppeteer from Roy Brown, who was the puppeteer on the Garfield Goose Show. He liked me a lot, and he was an artist and painter like I am, and he played Cookie the Clown, but I didn't like the unkind things he did to Monty Melvin.
Yeah, well, let's talk here. So now we're getting into the Bozo the Clown show, which I remember.
So let me know when you're ready to talk about the Bozo.
Yeah,
show.
so when I was a kid, Bozo was still in syndication. I don't know if they were still making it in the 80s. They probably were, but it was franchised. There were different Bozos around the country, right?
I know there were every city had a Bozo show. Chicago had the best Bozo show at WGM. They had Bozo. My family on my dad's side's from Pennsylvania and Ohio. They had a Bozo show. I remember when I would go to family reunions in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They came out of Philadelphia. They had a Bozo show in Los Angeles that was different than the Bozo show from Chicago. I have family on my dad's side that's from Columbus, Ohio, and Dayton, Ohio. And when I go to family reunions, there was a different Bozo show.
Uh-huh.
But those all Bozo shows only had one Bozo, no other clown.
Right.
The only show that had a variety of clowns was the WGN Bozo show. They first had Sandy the Clown, who went to produce he quit doing the Bozo show in 1968, and he went to produce the Banana Splits. And he was replaced by Cookie the Clown in 1968. Bozo got very sick, so Monty Melvin, who was the floor director of the Bozo show for many years, became the clown. And first he played Bozo, and then he did Monty Melvin, which he was my favorite clown. All the kids loved Monty Melvin. He taught kids to eat right. He integrated the Bozo show. He let Hispanic and African American and Asian kids do the grand prize game and be included in the Bozo show. Where when Ray Rayner ran the Bozo show as Oliver the Clown and Ringmaster Mr. Ned and Sandy the Clown, they were very conservative. They only let the white kids come and do the grand prize game. And Monty Melvin was liberal. He let and then he let the kids after the show, the Bozo or Monty Melvin would march out with the kids holding their hands, and he would throw out like a banner, like the kids, like the cheerleaders, that metal thing, the cheerleaders. And he was what the real thing is, Ray Rayner, who played Ollie Oliver the Clown. I didn't like that clown at all. He mimicked African American people.
Oh,
and then
what?
he wore blonde hair. Oh, yeah. I'm Ollie Oliver. Now I'm trying to be colored. I'm black, but I don't have no black blood in me. I'm Ollie Oliver. I was offended by him. Now, Cookie was nice to me. Cookie was an artist and painter like me. I used to work at a grocery store called Jules Grocery Store. And I used to bag groceries, and I would sell my artwork of paintings that I did of Garfield Goose, and I did of the Bozo characters. And one day, Roy Brown came in the store, and he bought up all my paintings, and he gave me $700.
Oh, my God.
That was a lot of money back then. He bought my paintings of Garfield
When
Goose.
was this? How old were you?
This is in I used to work at, this is in the early 60s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he says, let me get your phone number. I'm going to try to talk to my agent to try to get you as an actor. You should pursue acting. You're very talented.
I'm Cookie the Clown. I was on the WGM Channel 9 show. I'm Cookie the Clown. I am funny. All you children love to have me around. I'm Cookie the Clown. My best friend was Whistle the Clown who did magic. Clown, take a bite out of me. I've been divorced twice. I'm Cookie the Clown. Oh yes, I'm Cookie. And I was on the Bozo show for 40 years. Everybody liked me more than Bozo. Take a bite out of me. I'm a clown. I'm Cookie. Whistle the Clown and put a spell on Monty Melvin so I could be the head clown and the only clown. I'll make you laugh. I'm the funniest guy in town. I'm Cookie the Clown. Oh my goodness, what a name to be called Cookie. Take a bite out of me. You'll fall in love with me endlessly. I'm Cookie the Clown. Oh my goodness. But even though I died, I'm still alive as Cookie the Clown. I'm Cookie. Can you play the song for me? Play that Cookie song.
Your admiration and inspiration from Cookie the Clown is sort of coming full circle now, because you've got a new album out soon called The Wonderful World, about pigs, horses, clowns, and especially Dolly Parton.
I wrote a song about. I was inspired by Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
Dolly Parton was the only Southerner that truly loved black people and was kind to black people. She helped out Whitney Houston when Whitney Houston was going through a drug problem and was her best friend. Dolly Parton is a wonderful lady.
Hey, Dolly Parton, we love you. Hey, Dolly Parton, we like you. Hey, Dolly Parton, we enjoy your music from the heart. You were born in 1946. Your dad was dirt poor. He loved you all the more. I remember you on TV on 9 to 5 with a Lily Tom, and you make people laugh and smile and cry. Hey, Dolly Parton, we love you. Hey, Dolly Parton, we like you. You got style, you make us smile. Country western business lady. You work with me.
You do a lot of songs that are kind of like biographies or encyclopedia entries about a person or a subject. And I really like your song about Reba McEntire as well.
I was down at Walmart looking at different DVDs to buy. My eyes hit on Reba McEntire. Now she had her own country style that made me put on a smile. My eyes hit on Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire, queen of country music. Yeah. I like Reba McEntire, hope her music never retires. When I listen to her on the radio, her music really moves my soul.
I loved her and admired her a lot. That's why I wrote a song about her. And I love country music.
Me too. I love country music. Who are your favorite country artists?
Oh, my favorite one that just died was Charlie Pry.
God, he's so good.
I like Hank Williams, Hank Snow. I like Dolly Parton, who I wrote a song about.
Mm-hmm.
Could you look up this guy? He let me run his trains, and he was kind to me. And he was the CEO and the manager. George Crambles.
George Crambles was the president of CTA, which is Chicago Transit Authority. Uh-huh.
He treated me like a son he never had. He was from Oak Park, Illinois. He used to date Betty White. In fact, he's the one who called up Betty White to get me on Golden Girls.
So what was your role on Golden Girls? Real quick.
I played a police officer. Then when Beatrice Arthur quit Golden Girls and they moved into a hotel, Ruth McCallahan and the other ladies, I can't forget their name. Also, Ruth McCallahan was a wonderful lady. She mailed me at Christmas time $100. I was friends with Don Knotts, who played on the Andy Griffith Show.
Don Knotts, really?
And he told me that Andy Griffith was jealous of him and wouldn't let him be on the colored episodes of the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, when they did like the Mayberry RFD?
Yeah. So what happened was I told Don Knotts that the Ropers had gotten a spinoff And maybe you should audition for being the landlord on Three's Company." And he took my advice, and I saw him on there.
Oh yeah,
So at
that's
the
good
end,
advice.
he was a wonderful man.
Yeah,
Don Knox.
he was a
Don Knox,
very funny actor. He was one of my childhood favorites.
Well, Don Knox told me he got because he was mistreated by Andy Griffith. He started doing Disney movies, and he made more money from doing Disney movies than what he made from doing the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh yeah, man, that Disney money's got to be good.
And he told me Don Knox and Vivian Vance, who played on I Love Lucy, told me the jealousy is so bad in the entertainment business. And Vivian Vance, when I was doing gardening and yard work for another friend of mine, was Jewish, and she liked me a lot, was Nancy Walker. I wrote a song about her. She was a small Jewish lady, and she would take me to eat at Cantor's, and she didn't give me free acting lessons. She tried to get me on. She played the mother on the Rhoda show. She replaced Mr. French on Family Affair. She did the Bounty commercials. In fact, she gave the Bounty commercials to Vivian Vance. Vivian Vance wasn't getting work from the Here's Lucy or Life with Lucy or the Lucy Show since Gail Gordon had replaced her. Jealousy is a monster in the entertainment business.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
What do you order at Cantor's?
I love corned beef.
Yeah.
I love the corned beef, the pickles, and then I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood.
You get the matzo ball soup ever?
I love the matzo ball soup.
You know what I do when I go to Cantor's, David? I load up a bag of all that rugula, you know, the little tiny pastries.
I love that, and
I love
I love their lots. I love their pastries. Nancy Walker had the Nancy Walker Show, and she also she just was a loving, giving woman. She reminded me a lot of my mother, and she had a great smile and a wonderful personality.
Yeah.
I wrote a song about her that the album I did with George Fair. I wanted George Fair and I to tour together, and Kool Keith, and they just wanted to be on their own island, so I had to let them be.
You did a collaboration with Kool Keith, though. He was on your
Yes,
Space Ranger record.
I did that, but I wanted to tour with him, but he wasn't interested.
I am a space cowboy. I am a space ranger. Galactic. I protect the galaxy from danger.
Galactic space cowboy, fierce android riding through the nebula, spectacular bionic horses on the right course. Rodeo rider, night rider, my flying saucer fly higher. The spaceman won't retire. Human torch reset through time travel on fire. The galaxy is my supplier. Space cadet, I'm hired for triumph. Brilliant science. Robot recliner, joining forces with your alliance. Galactic.
I am a space cowboy. I am a space ranger. Cowboy. I protect the galaxy from danger.
I wanted to do more music with him. He wasn't interested. I wanted to do more music with George Fair, but he wasn't interested. And the album was a limited run, so so anyway, I love working with him. He's a very talented guy.
I have a copy of that Space Ranger record. You autographed it to my cat Salvador.
Well, I want to put something on it that needs to be correct. That's incorrect.
Yeah. Set the record straight.
I want to set the record straight. I wrote the music to Eternal Mine, not David DePani. David DePani did the instrumental of that. Now, that song is registered with ASCAP way back in the 80s with music by David Liebe Hart as a songwriter to the music arrangement and words by Alice Dayton.
And what's your middle name again?
It's my dad. Since he was a civil rights leader, he made it in Kruma and Liebehart. Now, let me explain the situation. My family's name way back used to have a M-A-N-N at the end of it, which is German. When it's M-A-N, it's Jewish. And for some strange reason, the Germans and my family didn't want the blacks to be associated. So they cut off and many of the people in my family took the name just Hart, and then they were ashamed about what happened during Hitler's situation. A lot of Germans, when they first came to America, shortened their names and made it English, sound English. I thought for the longest I was part English. Tim and Eric did my genealogy when I did I Love David. Dad's side, 80% German. Mother's side, 40% German.
A lot of German. That explains why you like the German deli so much and all that.
And then my family made German food, lemon pancakes, Black Forest cakes. They make pretzels. This is not what an African-American family
Homemade pretzels?
They made homemade pretzels.
Oh, that sounds good.
They put bacon on the potato salad. Potato salad originally comes from. And I had families that were brants that owned farms in Wisconsin. And this is... and that's why, and they used the pudding meat, which, and then they had put chicory on ham, which is an herb directly from Germany.
Yeah, I know chicory from New Orleans. They put that, they mix it with their coffee there.
Well, chicory originally came from Germany. Well, one time, France and Germany were one country. And,
sure.
And they broke off because I have Canadian French on my dad's side, which were the Couriers and the Lamars, and on my mother's side, I had Cajun French. And then I have more. That was like 10% on both sides of my family, but it's mostly German. Ziegenfelder, Schultz, Harmon, Schroeder's.
Schroeder, like the piano player. There's that connection. You are what they call an interdisciplinary artist. You're very active in your acting, your puppetry, your music. Do you get into sort of different headspaces when you go to those places, or is it sort of all the same?
Well, when I toured with Jonah and I toured with Adam Papagan, I wore different hats. I did portrait sketches for my fans. I did puppeteering. I did stand-up comedy, and I did music. I wore different hats. And Jonah's a very brilliant, talented person, and he created acting scenes for me to do.
So you're an improviser as well. Like a lot of your songs are at least born as improvisations, right?
Yeah, I've written a lot of improvisation songs.
Anybody want a song made up about a joke, or Tim and Eric, or computers? My computer gets me in touch with my girlfriend. I don't have to mail out a letter. My computer is my GPS in my car. It knows where to go and how to do it. I can't gotta have computers. I can't gotta have computers. Fiber active computers. Turn it on. You don't need a grandpa phone. Get on your computer. Get in touch with television. Get in touch with your computer. It'll make love to your GPS and your cell phone. Get it going on with a computer. Thank you.
The first time I ever met you was when we had a newborn baby. She was just a few months old, and my next door neighbor in the apartment I live in spotted you walking down the street, and he asked you to hold still for a moment because his next door neighbor might want to say hi. And that was me, and I came down with my baby, and she and I this was 7 years ago. She just turned 7.
You are blessed to have a family. I've been trying to find a girl on Tinder, but they never show up. So anybody out there wants a handsome single guy that is artistic, that would compliment me, that's a musician and artist like I am, and an attractive woman. I'd love to have you in my life if you live in Olympia.
Well, not just anyone, but the right person.
The right person.
Yeah,
the
sure.
Right person.
But the last time we met, David, was after the night after your performance. The next morning, you came over to my day job at the bakery I work at, and I will never forget this sandwich that you ordered, which if anyone ever orders it again, I'm going to say, oh, you're getting the David Liebe Hart sandwich. And
Which one was it?
So let me tell you what it was.
Tell me what I put on it.
All right. So it was on rye bread, toasted, and then you had all of our veggies, spinach, lettuce, bell peppers, pepperoncinis, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, right? We got all that, capers, even capers on there. And then it was turkey, salami, and lox. And then you had pesto, mayonnaise, and you had smoked salmon cream cheese on that sandwich.
Wow.
And you asked for 2 pickle spears on the side. And then I swear, man, I blinked and you had already eaten it. And you were like, man, that was the best sandwich I ever had. I need to get another one for the road. and then I doubled down on it.
Thank you. I remember that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You made a good sandwich for me. Thank you. As my grandmother Schroeder would say down there, saying, thank you. You did a good job.
Make me peace.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be that I was David Hart. I brought people joy, happiness, and enthusiasm, and an inspiration to live and go on and enjoy life in a fun way.
I love that. Liebe means love
in German,
and Hart is the internationally recognized symbol of love. So you're a double love kind of guy, and you got a lot of love to give. Can I just say, I think you're a real sweetheart. And
well, thank you. I wish I could find a sweetheart girlfriend. It's been lonely for me.
Hey, I'm holding out for you, man. It's gonna happen.
Thank you.
It's gonna work out.
You're the greatest, as Jackie Gleason.
Well, hey, man. I'll be looking out for you next time you come to the Pacific Northwest, or next time I come to visit family in L.A. Okay?
You got it.
And I got your number now, so I'll give you a shout if need be.
Call me anytime. Amy, your wife knows of a nice girlfriend for me.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, sure thing.
Have a great day.
All right. Lots of love, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
This has been about half of my conversation with David Liebe Hart. There's a link to the unedited tape at his request on this episode's website at lowprofilepodcast.com. You can find all things David at artbyliebehart.com. That's LIEBEHART. Artwork for this episode, the portrait, and all the portraits for Season 5, painted by Nathan Burko Gibson. Thank you, Nathan. Beautiful work as usual. Next time on Low Profile, first-time co-host Scott Eaton is joining me to interview John Ringhofer of the band Half-Handed Cloud. And what's more, he performs for us, and we got it all on video. So you're going to want to see that as well as hear it. In the meantime, you can catch up on some previous episodes you might have missed. I mean, why not? Not many folks have listened to the Alejandra and Aaron episode, which I think is sad because it's a really fascinating piece of radio. I feel just really honored to have been involved in that one. So maybe give that a spin if you can't decide. Till then, I'm Markley Morrison. Bless up.